Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me today for another APA Swing Pub. We are going to be covering the markets that we talked about last week and thoughts that we had last week, and see how they've turned out, as well as looking into the future for a forecast so that we can be planning and prepared before price gets to the areas that we're looking at, because with the APA zones system and methodologies, we are very much levels traders. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. All right. So first off, let's start out with some Forex markets, because I love to talk about Forex. And just so everybody here in the audience knows, today we're going to do a little bit of a review of the markets, the forecast of the markets, and then we will do a open mic session today where we all discuss what we see. If you guys have any questions during this period of time of review and forecast, please let me know, because we will be going over those in our open mic session. So with that being said, it looks like the Aussie yen has loaded up here, and we've been watching this level down here for the past couple weeks. The 90.12 level looks like it's kind of done its thing down there, and over the past few days, what we were looking for happening here is we're looking to see it consolidate down here and pop back up. Well, it did pop up, but it came right back down again, and so I'm still liking this idea because of where the bigger weekly levels are. Notice how we're like kind of locked in the middle of the range, so I still like that idea. Now, this thing may take a little bit longer to work out for us, but I still like that general idea. We do have to be aware of this level that has just formed right up there, and obviously we have some resistance that we're coming into right now. Okay, so on the smaller time frames, if we're looking to get long out of these levels, we want to be buying low and selling high. So we're going to go into like a 60-minute time frame and look to capture something that we like to call the money bounce, like right down there or right there. We're looking to capture something like that for a big expansion to the upside. Okay, so that's really how simple it gets. We're just taking what the big time frame levels look like, and then saying, okay, is this a place of an area of counter trend, or is this a place of trend follow? Well, we're at a counter trend area, so we want to take as little risk as possible trying to do the counter trend type of play. Okay, because it's very likely that we could be in somewhat of a range right here. Okay, so I want to be aware of that. All right, so moving right along, let's go ahead and look at the Aussie dollar, and it's got really choppy here. Let's go look at our daily, and we can see the chop. And from last week, we are looking for the pop to this brown level. Okay, so that's exactly what we've seen happen. Is it looks like it is expanding up here. We've seen a real nice like inside candle here, and it has expanded through, and it looks like it's going to touch our brown zone. Okay, so that is a really cool thing. And again, this is a counter trend play. If you're buying down here, this is counter trend. Okay, so don't think that it's not, because it definitely is. And we're just trying to be wise and not risk too much on a counter trend type of play because the trend follow is to the short side. However, it could still be a week out before we're retesting these highs up here. Okay, so that would give us an opportunity to get short. All right, so we will see how that continues to play. All right, but we are again looking for price to come up into this level before we would be taking a trend follow trade. So I'm just going to put trend follow trade, and before we even do a trend follow trade, I really want to see confirmation of price respecting this level and coming back down before we do it. So it needs to be outside of this zone. It needs to like pop into this level just a little bit and then pop back down. We don't know what that's going to look like, but we need to have a plan, because being levels traders, we don't react to the market. We follow our plan. Okay, so somewhere in maybe in this area, we could do a trend follow to the short side. Okay, and so everything that we'd be doing a buy would be counter trend. Or CT for short, counter trend. Okay. Moving right along. Euro Aussie. Now we're at an interesting point here because we're retesting the low. All right. Now we were looking at on the big weekly chart for price to come all the way back up there and retest the weekly zone. It hasn't gotten up there. It actually found resistance off of this daily level. Okay, so and then it pushed down here into the daily zone, and looks like we've actually broken the daily zone. So now the downtrend is in effect. Okay, so because that has happened, and on the daily chart, if we look at this, the trend is kind of flat right now. It's just not really doing a whole lot of anything, so we know that this could be some chop here. Looks like we have a new low. I'm going to be waiting for, because we've just had the breakout, we want to wait for the retests and then take it even lower, because this level down here needs to reform itself. Okay, so on the week or on the hourly, possible opportunities would be in a level, if you're really wanting to get aggressive about your shorts, this type of level would be very interesting to play, as long as you can come in here with not too bad of a risk reward type of thing. So I love to use the NinjaTrader ruler tool. That Y value is absolutely amazing. So I can measure out, like, let's say that I'm entering up here at the top of this newly formed zone, which this would be the money bounce. This will turn the zone blue. Okay, and I can actually come in here and say, okay, maybe I'll be risking 36 ticks to make 66 ticks if I can get an entry up here. Okay, and I can obviously adjust this down to whenever I see the right price action signal come into play. That would confirm the short, and so we would be playing short to there. I'd also be looking to take off T2 at the bottom if you're playing it all off the 60 chart, which I don't like playing it all off the 60 chart because I'm trying to swing trade this thing, and we've just had a new low, so I really want to wait for T2 to be like something more substantial. And then T3 is the make it look good target, so it's going to be way down there. Okay, so that is what we're looking for, and it's just really nice to be able to look at the Y values and the time values too. I look at the Y value just to show me how many ticks of risk I'm really taking on. So I drew it all on the most recent candle, so I can't even see my important price action on this bar. But let's just say that price reverses here, let's just say, and maybe I'd only be taking 30 some ticks of risk, and my first target would be, right around at the next 60-minute level, which is right there. Okay, so if I'm taking 35 ticks of risk, I'm making about 40 ticks of profit to T1, and at that point I'm looking to take off the majority of my position because I don't know that the downtrend is going to continue. This is a very aggressive short, trying to take it on pretty much the initial breakthrough off of the daily bars. If we look at these daily bars, that's how I see that, and then jumping on board here. So that is a very aggressive short, but it could work out very, very nicely. We just have to let the markets play out and see how it works. All right, so let's move to the next market. Euro pound. We've been in a down weekly trend, and it looks like it's coming down to retest the lows here. And on the daily chart, we were anticipating price coming down even further, and it looks like it's still trying to do so, but there's some support that's given us a little bit of a problem. So we found new resistance inside the same level, so we're still looking to break through to the downside here and get that initial push that we were looking through, okay, or looking for as we're retesting the lows down here. All right, so we're just going to expand out these lines just a little bit because we're looking still for that downtrend to continue here, but we haven't really retested the support that we're looking to see. Okay, so right now it's more of like a kind of a follow the trend from the big weekly chart, and we just want to be playing it as such. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. All right, so let's move on to the euro yen. Okay, we've had a breakthrough on the weekly. We're having a new low. Looks like we did get a little pop, not nearly as big as what we were looking for, and we found the new low. Okay, so it didn't pop up here to a nice resistance level off the daily where it had been a real nice trend follow trade to the downside, but it's a little bit more aggressive than that right now. Okay, so I think that's kind of interesting as far as what we've been looking for. This level, I'm kind of thinking that we're going to see a retest. Let's draw this stuff out here. I think that we'll see a retest up into the yellow level again. It's a very good possibility. Just continuing on with the downtrend, and with the downtrend on the big weekly chart. Let's go ahead and look at the dollar yen. Okay, we're in an uptrend on the dollar yen. We're retesting the new highs up here. So let's go zoom into our context daily chart. Been kind of playing the range. The trender has been flat for the past few weeks on this thing. Okay, so if we're playing the range, this is very, very interesting as an opportunity to buy low and sell high. So we're looking at that purple zone yet again that we've identified here, and this really is a range type of play. Okay, so if this is an inside daily bar, this is a kind of a cool thing to be playing, maybe to the bottom of this pivot point, and then you could be looking for your first target, and then play the range up here, and then you would have a make it look good. Okay, so how do we get into something like this if this lines up here? Well, that's a good question. Let's go on the 60-minute time frame and see exactly what we have going on. Well, right now on the 60-minute time frame, we're right in the middle in between resistance and support. So we want to wait until we're a little bit lower, maybe another little bounce off of this 60-minute level, and then we could scoop it off of here, maybe buy low down here, sell up there, depending on how much risk that we're taking. I would probably be looking to take, like, the retest of this would be looking something like down here and then coming right back up. So something like that is what I'm kind of looking for to coincide with a bigger picture, and then our T2 is like 80 something ticks up there on the daily level, I believe it is. So that's a pretty big target there. So let me, or actually it might be a little bit higher than that. And that's assuming that we're going to be getting into a nice inside candle here is what we're looking at today. So we're going to be playing the expansion outside of the inside candle is kind of the idea that I'm going with on this idea of laying out this type of trade setup. Okay. So again, we're just looking to play the range and really trying to just buy low and sell high. So let's continue to move on here. Actually, looks like I'm done with my list. John, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Hey, there he is. Okay. John, would you like to take your markets?
Yeah, let's start out with this CL right here.
And let me make you a presenter in a way. Now you have keyboard and mouse control.
Okie doke. Thank you, Kane. Alright, so looking at CL here, we had been in a downtrend. It looks like we drew this from last week with this trend line break here. We're looking for a bigger push to the upside, and yeah, that's what's happened this week, and we're coming up to the extreme of this weekly zone, and let's go ahead and take a look right here.
Sorry that my daily chart is so messy. I as you can
tell. No.
I'm a day trader. So.
Yep. And when you put this stuff on global, it just draws wherever. So, all right, let me just see what the hotkeys are for everything on here. F4 is the ruler, and okay, I want Ray. All right, so after breaking this trend line that we had right here, we've seen another higher high, consolidation, and a continued move to the upside. Now, I would say that we are probably going to be looking for a bounce back to the downside somewhere around this 58 area. But until then, now we're getting into a scenario where it looks like we could see opportunities for both sides, and we really just want to work on playing the extremes. Actually, let me go back to this. So, having said that, if we are, even if we do get a bounce above here, and the buyers are really now the ones that are, looking to control the bus metaphor that we like to use, I would say that a pullback back into this area right around here for the continue of the stair stepping would be ideal, but I'm interested in seeing what price is going to do. It's coming into this trender. This level, which had been kind of the top of this broad range that had been going on since February, it's obviously not very fresh, and yeah, I'm interested to see if the true supply is up here, or if we're in a situation where, yeah, momentum is to the upside and we're going to see a push higher. So as far as looking at what the opportunities are, we would be, I would say, looking for like aggressive trades are obviously to the long side, being that our weekly is still in a downtrend, and our daily is suggesting two-sided movement, and we want to wait for pullbacks to extreme type of areas. So I would be, as you can see, like if you're aggressive, you could have been taking the nice little shallow pullback here, and even within this consolidation, this might be a nice level for a new at least bottom of a range. It's had a nice arrival into it and a nice departure, but oil's kind of, I day trade oil, and yeah, definitely it seems like the longs have been in control, but it's something where, even in this move that we're seeing to the upside, if you go to smaller time frame charts, you're still seeing selling. There's big moves up and there's big moves down. So we really just want to look for, extreme type of areas. So for the selling extreme, look up at the 62, and I'd look to 52 and 53 for a potential long, on a nice pullback. So we'll go ahead and we'll switch and we'll start looking at the equities. Let's go ahead and look at the ES first. All right, last week, yes, we were at the top of the range. We've been in an uptrend, and yeah, we've had this pretty kind of broad consolidation happening on top of one another. And going to our daily, you can see our trenders green, and yeah, we have come up to the extreme now. This is a range. It's around this area would have been a place where I would have said this would have been a nice counter trend type of opportunity to look for a short, mainly because the selling pressure from this level was very nice, and I believe it was able to take out a zone that was right here. So knowing that, there's a way that we do type of counter trend trades and range trades, and the retest up to here could have said the same thing, although it's not the same scenario as it was here, because we had buyers come in here at the bottom of the range, and since then we've been steadily moving back up towards the top, and we went ahead and made a higher high in this consolidation, and right now we're at the extreme of the range. So any type of short really, here is, I don't want to say ill-advised, but you need to be, you don't want to be like the first one in, and you also need to understand that it's, counter trend in nature. So you should be looking for a retest off some type of level that was able to do something significant. And when I say significant, it could be break a trend line, taking out levels, showing like multiple nice bars on top of one another. And we got some selling here. Unfortunately, I would say that, oh, wrong one. I'm used to my little hotkeys. Okay, let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll just draw a line. This is a broad trend line. We'll just do it like that. And what's really been working are the pullbacks into, these continuation areas after making higher highs. So I would be looking more rather than, the potential, retest up here to go short. I'd more be looking for potentially a breakout to the long side above this range, see price, really kind of move out of it. And then on a pullback, we'll see resistance now act as support. But yeah, that's what I see on ES. We'll just have to see what happens at the top of this range, if we can really see a push to the downside. And then if we do see momentum coming around here, well, then, I would say the shorts are in play, because chances are we're going to go back to the bottom of the range. And in Q, we're probably going to see somewhat of the same thing. Yep, same scenario as ES. I would say a little bit better looking as far as we're not making, once we've consolidated here on this daily, we haven't made a higher high yet. So on our 60-minute, after this move, that, here we go, F3, we break a trend line here. So this would have been something where on a retest right up to here, which it didn't quite get to, would have been looking for a potential type of sell signal. And now we started to get the selling. We got a pullback into this consolidation here, and we may be going back to the bottom. So I'd be looking, if we couldn't nab the short up here, I'd be looking to see, the pullback kind of in this level to see if we continue the stair-stepping process to the upside on NQ. Going forward, let's go ahead and check out a different type of market. Let's check out the YM, or the ZB, I'm sorry, bonds. Oh, wow. Okay. Looks like oil's breaking out. Alright, here we are on ZB, and we had kind of highlighted this last week as, this is a nice type of reversal bounce area to look for, the top of a range. And we've been, in that weekly zone for a couple weeks, just kind of consolidating, as you see here on our daily chart. Now, what we really want to pay attention to if we were looking for the short is where we start seeing, the dynamic of price action, suggests downtrend type of activity. So lower lows, lower highs, taking out demand, being able to draw downward trend lines, and we would have had a couple of opportunities. I was looking at this in the morning to go short on ZB on the retest right into here, and it didn't. Looks like it did not give the best type of engulfing type of signal, but the main reason was kind of looking for it was after arriving back up to the extreme, we had a really nice departure to the downside, and this consolidation that was right here was able to produce selling. So was kind of looking for the lower highs to continue, and that's what we have. So we would have been able to hit a T1 easily. Now it would just be a matter of if this daily zone can ever be broken. But we'd be on our T2, we'd probably be playing to down here, and T3 obviously is at a very big extreme. But this area has kind of yielded some nice reversal bounce trades, and it's just a matter of making sure that we have, you know, good risk reward, being able to hit T1s, and just letting it play out. So we'll see if the momentum can play to the downside.
Hey, John, real quick.
Yeah.
On while you're on that market, do you think
Yes.
on the daily, do you think you could kind of draw out what you're looking at with
Sure.
with the line tool there
Yeah,
with this
sure.
F3?
So, I mean, if we're going to, what had been looking for, you can't quite see it here. Oh, let me do F4.
F4 is the ruler tool. F3 is the line tool.
F3 is the line 2, sorry.
Yeah.
This is just a broad kind of version, but when we're like, if this was our area of interest and we're looking, you know, for it as a retest or a counter trend type of trade, basically to act as the top of the range, we want to be getting in on the very first bounce that happens. Rather, we want to see it come up here, have some selling, and wait for a retest. That happened here, and then it went and made a higher high. So, would need to see a failure, which we started seeing price move away from it, not very well. And yeah, now we've gotten a retest, and I think the key is going to be being able to just make a lower low here. The problem with the short play that I've been looking for a while, we're getting a lot of overlap here. I mean, we've been up in this area for, this is the 4th week. So at some point, especially when it comes to a counter trend type of trade and the extreme of the range, you get so much consolidation, chances are like the failure that you're really looking for isn't going to happen from that spot. I mean, if there is actually supply, it's probably right just above it. It might just go make a higher high. But if we do start seeing the failure here, there's going to be a lot of room to go down to the downside. There you go. Thanks, game.
So then we would be looking to play this to the upside. Is that correct? But all the way up until this point, we could easily play the short,
Yes.
knowing that it's counter trend and we need to manage our risk appropriately, so that we don't find ourselves going against the grain too much in more of a confirmation type of short play, whereas the longs are going to be more aggressive in their nature because we're looking to take out this level overall. Is that kind of the feeling that you're getting right here?
Yeah, and I mean, it's really just like I said. I mean, it's like this type of play. If we nabbed it up here and we've hit our T1, it's just a matter of, okay, now we'll just see what happens. And the way that it actually breaks down, I think, will kind of determine if this might be a level to look for a long to a scenario where we have two-sided trading. But until then, I mean, you could also very easily just be playing that daily zone to the long side because it has been acting as the bottom of the range.
Mm-hmm. So then for something like this, we're looking at entering like off of the 60, which you were noticing here this morning, at like 164, and taking that short for a real quick target, and then playing out maybe to the next daily level, which is just below here. And I like to do one tick outside, and then we can play the level below that as far as the runner. But maybe in the grand scheme of things, we've really just played a really big range, is what we've done. But this range is, forming off of the daily and the weekly levels, and maybe you don't want to stop there. Maybe you go all out.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point when we're dealing with those third targets, like, risk reward standpoint, you really want it to be something ridiculous, like you end up getting like 15 to 1 on it, or maybe even 20 to 1. I mean, that's, yeah.
So I actually like this scenario right
Yeah,
here myself.
yeah,
Like taking
yeah.
it all the way down to here gives us, like I feel like I'm playing the range off of that previous low, and then I'm able to sit into a nice reversal and just let the profits come as they may, you know. But that's assuming that we have a breakout to the downside of this. So, but I love this analysis. So that was absolutely amazing, John. So
All right, let's,
so I'm going to stop the recording
yeah,
here, and
okay.
for everybody in the audience today, we will continue on. But for everybody that is watching the recording, we hope to see you in the audience next week. So we'll be doing another session here. So thank you, everybody.